What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Sunday morning virtual experience. It's so good to be here with you today, and certainly hopeful and prayerful that you've had an amazing Christmas. Let me start there by wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Certainly hope you had a blessed day yesterday, that you received everything that you wanted, and maybe even got the stuff that you needed. It is my hope that you are enjoying yourself, enjoying your family. Hopefully you don't have to work. If you do have to work, I'm certainly praying for you today. And those folks, I even know some people that had to work on Christmas Day. And so my thoughts and certainly prayers are with you, and hope you have had the opportunity to rest and relax, enjoy your family, loved ones, those people that you're closest to. I am not ignorant of the fact that today is the day after Christmas. And so I know people are all over the place. They're with their family. Some people are still sleeping in. Some people are traveling. We got people all over the place. But I dare not miss the last Sunday of 2021. It has been a phenomenal year, and certainly hopeful and prayerful that your testimony is the same. And so do me a favor. Go ahead and start sharing this video. Nudging everybody, telling them to wake up, get up, invite them to tune in. Go ahead and start tagging your 5-10 people now. Tell them to tune in. Again, I know it's going to be a slow wave this morning. Received so many messages from so many people that are traveling this weekend, that are out and about with their family, and I'm glad you are. Please enjoy your family. But again, we could not dare miss the last Sunday of 2021. I'm grateful to be here. And certainly got a powerful message for you that I cannot wait to share. That's going to be very good. It's going to be very good. And glad to have you with us this morning. So good morning to you. As you come in, make sure you say good morning in the chat area. I wanted to make sure I started on time. I want to be mindful of your time this weekend with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. And so I want to be mindful of that. But I did want to start on time so that I have enough time to get through this very critical word that I want to share with you. It's going to set the stage for what's going to happen for you in 2022. And it really all starts with honesty. So you're going to love today's word, I promise you. So start tagging people now. I need everybody on all of your networks to start tagging people. Tell them to wake up. Some folks are drowsy from all the eggnog the day before on Christmas, whatever it is that you've been doing, wherever you have been. I am certainly praying for you. And especially those of you that are traveling, that are going into other areas, especially those of you that have been flying. As we know, this variant is more contagious than the previous variants we've had. And so I know a lot of people that have COVID right now that literally found out in the last 48, 72 hours. It's crazy how contagious this variant is, though not as deadly as previous variants, but more contagious. And so be very careful. I'm praying for those of you that are traveling, that God would certainly cover you and keep you in the airports as you go to and from destination to destination. Listen, let's go through the networks. I want to get through the networks really quickly. I want to walk through declaration. I want to get to this word today. And then again, I promise you, I want to be mindful of your time. Those of you that are with your family that have paused to tune in, I want to say thank you for doing that. And I want you to know that it is so good to virtually see you this morning, and so grateful that you have tuned in. All right, let's get through our networks. Facebook, good morning to you. It's good to see you virtually. Those of you that are tuned in via Facebook, it's good to see you virtually. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor. I want you to like this video. If you really enjoy our broadcast, I want you to hold down that like button, turn it into a love button, hit that share button, hit the @ symbol, tag 5 people and tell them to tune in right now. Let them know that the Rehab Christian Center is live and on the air. I meant to cut that fan off. Is live and on the air, and tell them to wake up. Tell your family, your friends to wake up, and let's end 2021, this last Sunday of 2021, on a powerful high note, with another very honest, candid message for you that's going to free you today. This is going to be powerful. I'm so excited to teach it, but I'm glad to have you here. So good morning, Facebook. Make sure you say good morning in the chat area if you have not already. It's rude to come to church in person or virtually and not speak. So make sure you say good morning in the chat area. And again, start tagging 5 people and tell them to tune in right now. All right. Thank you so much. Instagram, good morning to you. Those of you that are tuned in on Instagram, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I've got a lot of Instagram viewers, consistent followers that are traveling this weekend. Nevertheless, those of you that are on, go ahead and start tagging people. Fill it up with hearts. Let me know you're tuned in. And then do me a favor, start tagging people now. Tell them to tune in. Make sure you say good morning if you have not already. I see a few of you have already done that. But make sure you say good morning and start tagging people. Tell them to wake up. Tell them to tune in. This is going to be a powerful time. And I'm so grateful to be here with you on today. Those of you that are tuned in via Instagram, thank you so much for your support all 2021. It's been a phenomenal year. And just grateful for your support, and really those of you that continue to consistently tune in week after week after week to be a part of this ministry and this broadcast. It's so great. Good to see you this morning. And again, Merry Christmas to you all on Instagram, YouTube. Good morning to you. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, it's good to see you virtually. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuned in via YouTube, do me a favor. If you have not liked our channel on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel. On YouTube, you can find us at TheREHABCC. That's at TheREHABCC on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Like this video also on YouTube, and then hit that share button. If you're on YouTube, hit that share button. And I want you to tag some people and tell them to tune in via YouTube. It's good to see you on YouTube again, as I promised for the last couple of months, and promise absolutely for sure. We're going to be doing a lot more on from our church exclusively on YouTube. YouTube appears to have the most flexibility of all of our streaming networks. Definitely more flexible than Instagram. YouTube and Facebook seem to be the two most flexible outlets. And so we're going to be doing a lot more exclusive things on YouTube to really build that following there. But just grateful for those of you that do tune in on YouTube. We have a lot of followers, believe it or not, that are not even on social media. So they tune into YouTube because it's a free space. You don't need an account. And so we're just grateful for you. I'm grateful for your support in 2021, and certainly looking forward to your support in 2022. So again, like us on YouTube if you have not already. You can like us at the REHABCC, and then also make sure you like this video, share this video, tag 5-10 people, tell them to tune in. All right, y'all, I have gone through the networks. I want to get right into this message. I know we'll have more people come in as we get going, but again, I don't want to delay your day. I've got a powerful word. I want to take my time. I don't want to rush through this word today. And so we'll have a lot of people probably catch the replay, and that's all right. But I could not dare miss the last Sunday of 2021. And so I'm grateful again that you have chosen to tune in, get up, take a break from your family, your friends, your loved ones, wherever you are, and be a part of this broadcast. I simply cannot say thank you enough. And I'm grateful to have your presence here. Let's walk through the declaration. This is, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, if this is your first time tuned into the Rehab Christian Center, you would understand that you would not know, every single Sunday, we do our declaration. We walk through what it means, what rehab means. Many people ask, what does rehab mean? Well, it stands for rehab, restore, evangelize, hope, alternatives, breakthrough. It is the 5 pillars by which we attempt to operate this ministry. And I always like to walk through the declaration on Sundays. Why? Because it helps to set the tone for our weeks. Remember, not only is the power of life and death connected to what you say, but it's also connected to the way in which you say it. So it's one thing to just say things. It's another thing to say things like you mean it. And so I walk through the declaration every Sunday, and I pause on purpose because I want you to repeat after me as I say these things, and you will hear as I say these things that are going to be critical for you to win, not only just this week, but for the rest of your life. And so I'm excited. I'm just excited. I've seen so many of your lives transform in 2021. And I don't want to get all sentimental on today's broadcast, but I've seen so many of your lives transform in 2021. So many of you have gone through so many different things, and you have survived, and you've done well. And I'm excited. I'm just excited for you, like it's my life. I am. And it's just so good to see so many of you winning. I was remarking to a friend of mine, and I don't want to get long-winded today. As you can tell, I got a lot to say. But I was remarking to a friend of mine just earlier this week about the number of people in my life that are winning. Right. And when I mean my life, I mean people that I'm connected to, people that I know, people that I'm friends with. Many of you that are members, that are faithful viewers every single week. So many of you are winning in so many different areas of your life. And man, it's just a great thing. It's good to be surrounded by people who are doing well. All right. It's good to be surrounded by people who are doing well, who are living well. Things are going well for them. And if you're any kind of good friend, any kind of good family member, you ain't sad or upset because they're doing well. In fact, You should be excited like it's you. And I'm just tickled to death. Thought about it earlier this week. I'm surrounded by so many people that are just doing so well in so many different areas of their lives. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm grateful for you. And I want you to know I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. If you thought 2021 was a decent year, 2022 is going to be an amazing year. And I'm excited for your future and excited for what's going to happen for you. Listen, let's get into the declaration. Repeat after me. Let's start with you. Are you ready? I'm going to pause. I want you to repeat after me. Let's say it together. Restore. We declare that everything that is broken, lost, hurt, or destroyed that belongs to us and has been designed by God is restored. My faith is restored. My joy is restored. My mind is restored. Even my lost time is restored. I am no longer broken. The fact that I'm alive means I have another chance. My faith has restored me. And right now, his love is making me whole. Evangelize. Say it with me. We declare that God helped us so we can help somebody else. He loved me when I was unlovable. He changed me when I was a mess. His love lifted me when I was down. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. And anything that came for me can't keep me. Because I'm free, my circle is next. My family is saved. My friends are blessed. My plans are successful. My goals are ahead of schedule. And anything connected to me is blessed, just like me. Hope. Say it with me. We declare that everything that is missing is not lost. In Jesus, I have hope. And this hope makes me confident. It doesn't matter what happens to me or around me. I'm going to win. My relationships are winning. My goals are winning. My family is winning. My neighbor is winning. This city will win, and my row has the victory. My past is defeated, and my future is brighter today than it was yesterday. Alternatives. Say it with me. We declare that God made us different. I'm a royal child, the light of the world, and the hope of my city. I respect the past, but I don't look like what I've been through. I love the church, and my life is balanced. I love coming to church, but I like flights, boats, and vacations. My whole life is blessed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender, not a borrower. And every place I go belongs to me. Breakthrough. Say it with me. We declare that God has a breakthrough with our name on it. I have some challenges, but I am not defeated. No weapon formed against me can prosper. And I know that all things are working for my good. Things are not breaking down. They are about to break through. There is a breakthrough in my career. There is a breakthrough in my home. There is a breakthrough in my health. There is a breakthrough in my finances. I am here on purpose, for a purpose, and everything that went wrong is getting ready to turn around. Did you repeat that declaration of faith with me? If you did, do me a favor. This is the last Sunday of 2021 and the last time you're going to get to say it this year. I want you to type in the comments right now. It's already done. Quickly. I want you to type in the comments right now. It's already done. If you made that declaration, I want you to put it in the comments right now. It's already done. It's already done. Don't you know that we have literally been saying this for 52 weeks this year? This week will be the 52nd week that we've been saying and declaring every single Sunday that it's already done. Are you going to do that next week, Pastor? I have no idea. I have not figured that out yet. But I will tell you that 3-letter or 3-word phrase has gone a long way in blessing me personally and just reminding me that some things concerning my life are already done. I want you to type it in the comments now. This is the last time you get to type it this year. I want you to put it in the comments. It's already done. God's making ways. He's opening doors. He's meeting needs in your life. He's moving mountains for your life. It's already done. Come on, quickly. It's already done. Type it in the comments now. This is your last time you get to declare it on this live broadcast in 2021. And if your life has been anything like mine in 2021, God has literally completed some things this year. He's made some things happen for you this year. And so you ought to be here literally this morning with an attitude of gratitude, knowing that God is already working things out for you. It's already done. Come on, type it quickly. It's already done. It's already done. He's making ways. He's opening doors. He's meeting needs. He's creating new opportunities. And man, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I'm just so excited for y'all. I went on a little 2-3 minute rant of just how proud I am of so many of you. So many great things are happening in so many of your lives. And to see your lives in January versus now, it's just powerful. It's a powerful testimony. And it's the reason why, one of the many reasons why I do what I do. I do these things because I love to see people's lives transform. I love to see people win. I love to see people start on the bottom and end up on the top. There's nothing more powerful than that. And I'm just excited, man. I'm so excited to see so many of you winning in the ways that you're winning. And I want to just make it clear. If you thought 2021 was major, get ready for 2022. I really believe 2022 is going to be an even more phenomenal year. And I'm excited for you. So if you haven't typed it already in the comments, put in the comments is already done. If you have not tagged 5 people, this is your last Sunday of 2021 to invite somebody to church. And some of y'all ain't invited nobody all year. This is your last Sunday. So go ahead and invite somebody really quickly and invite somebody you want to see win in 2022. Because I've got a powerful word I want to share with you. But I want you to go ahead and start tagging people. As you're doing that, I want to say this quickly. There will be no life study this Tuesday. Nikki Watson, I need you. We got to talk today because Nikki Watson is going to lead, and Michelle, they're going to lead us in our vision board party next Tuesday. Surprise, surprise. Next Tuesday, January the 4th, will be our vision board party. We do it every Tuesday, first Tuesday in January. And Nikki Watson, I volunteered her, and Michelle, they're going to lead our vision board party on January the 4th. And so I will get with them to make that happen. Surprise, surprise. But we had an awesome time in January doing it this year. Earlier in January, it was all virtual. It'll be virtual again this coming Tuesday, January the 4th. So again, no life study this Tuesday. I will see you again next Sunday virtually here. And then we will meet up January the 4th. For our first Tuesday night life study, which will be our vision board party. So you will have time to go ahead and get your materials and all of those things put together. If you want to do a digital one, which is what I did, I carried it on my phone. And so my vision board was actually my screensaver on my phone. And I was looking at that this week and remarking some things that I checked off, some things I didn't quite get to. I'm just going to be honest. I know some of you checked off everything on your board. Some things I didn't quite get to, but a lot of things I did. Including finishing my 4th book. Finally finished that early last week. And so that should be launching somewhere around March of 2022. And don't know if that's going to be a live launching or a hybrid of something. But I'll have some details for that really soon. But just grateful to see so many of you winning in so many major ways. And I cannot wait to see you next Sunday virtually, and then the next Tuesday for our vision board life study on that Tuesday. Now, let me explain this because I know some of y'all are thinking it. In the words of the late Bishop Adams, I know what you're thinking. I am not at home, obviously, because you see a star in the background. And Dr. Zeb is not a Cowboys fan. Let me go ahead and make that clear. I am not a Cowboys fan. I am graced to be at my parents' house, just spending some time with them for a few days. And I'm not a Cowboys fan. So that star back there, my prayer today is that it does not impact the word, because it is hard to look in this camera and teach and knowing I got so many Cowboy fans in this ministry. And here y'all go already. I knew y'all wanted to say it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you have your 30 seconds. And here we go. Daddy commenting. Why not? He downstairs commenting. It's killing me. And I already, I got the jitters this morning. I'm not in my own environment. It's weird. It doesn't matter where you teach. Sometimes you get used to being in your environment. It just has a certain flavor. So I already kind of felt a little just different, just not being in my own environment. But then let's sit here and see this star in the background. I'm over here stammering over my words and I'm stuttering. And it's because this star is really blinding my vision right now. So if the revelation's a little weak today, we're going to blame the devil. All right. It takes a lot of God to teach, and you got a star behind you. And that's all I'm going to say. And so Nick saying, don't act like that. Jay talking about the Steelers. Here we go. And for all I know today, I believe the Cowboys play the Redskins. And so it's going to be a mess tonight in this house. A lot of screaming and yelling. I'm just sitting down next to my mom and dad last night, just remarking their relationship and just how well they've done over the years, and watching them age gracefully has really been a blessing to me. But man, this star back here is killing me. I ain't kidding you. It's killing me. All right, let me get past that. All right, let's get into the word today. All right, let's get into the word. And y'all, again, pray for Pastor. I got to teach with this star behind me, and I'm going to do the best that I can. All right, James chapter 5 is where we're going to be today. James chapter 5, verse 16, New Living Translation. This is the topic. I want you to type it in the comments right now. Admit it and be free from it. All right, admit it and be free from it. This is going to be a powerful message. All right, admit it and be free from it is where we're teaching from today. This is the last Sunday of 2021, and I've got a message that's going to empower you. All right, admit it and be free from it. All right, James chapter 5, verse 16 is where we are. Oh, I didn't mention this too. There's so much going on. New Year's Eve, February. See, there we go. It's this cowboy. It's this star behind me. December the 31st. 12:08 p.m. we will do a virtual experience. 12:08 p.m. this December the 31st. We'll do a virtual experience. Even when we go back in the building, I like doing our New Year's Eve experience during the middle of the day because it gives my members flexibility that evening. If they want to go to church somewhere and do that, they can do that. If they want to hang out with their family and bring in the New Year's with their family, they can do that. I'm totally open there. You ain't going to go to hell because you're not in church at 11:59 p.m. on New Year's Eve. All right. So it's all good. But 12:08 p.m. December the 31st, we will have our New Year's Eve virtual experience right here. And I will have a quick word for you, and it's going to bless you in a tremendous way and really help set up your 2022. And I forgot to do that. So thank you so much, moderators, for putting that up there. All right. James chapter 5, verse 16, admit it and be free from it. I see y'all going in. Okay. It's not my fault, Minister Carlos. I didn't put this star behind me. This ain't got nothing to do with Pastor. I'm just here. This ain't my house. I can't tell people what to do in their house. But I just don't want nobody to get on this live and judge me because they see this star behind me. All right. Because this ain't got nothing to do with me. All right. All right. Admit it and be free from it. James chapter 5, verse 16, New Living Translation says this: confess your faults one to another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. This is a very powerful verse. If you've ever read the book of James, if you have not read the book of James, let me challenge you to do this. Here's your challenge before 2022 gets here. I want you to do this over the next couple of days. I want you to read the entire book of James because he is, in my opinion, one of the most honest writers in the Bible. He's one of the most honest writers in the Bible that you will see. Why? Because he, much like Dr. Zeb, likes to just tell it like it is. All right. No filter. This is what it is. This is what you need to do. This is what you shouldn't be doing. This is what's going to happen if you don't tighten up. All right. And it's just one of those things. But he really deals with this issue of confession that I want to deal with. But before I go there, I want you to record this. This is your first bullet point. Record this right now. Honesty is the enemy to growth and living your best life. Honesty is the enemy. I'm going to free somebody today. Honesty is the enemy to growth and living your best life. Not where you're from, not how much money you make, not who you connected to, not who in your family, not who puts you on and who don't put you on. It's honesty. Honesty is the enemy to growth and living your best life. Honesty. Honesty is the enemy to growth and living your best life. It ain't about how connected you are. It's not about who's in your network. It's not about people putting you on. I had to break somebody's heart a couple of weeks ago because he was whining about this thing that he's trying to do and he's trying to launch, and then he's complaining, Dr. Zeb, nobody want to put me on. Nobody want to give me a shot. Dude, I almost said the other word, the N word. Dude, you don't need nobody to put you on. You don't need people to put you on. You don't need people to create opportunities for you. You don't need people to create lanes for you. You can create your own lane. All right. But honesty really is the enemy to growth. You got to be honest with you about you. And many people struggled this year to be really, truly free and to really live their best life and really live in a space of freedom and transparency and growth. Why? Because they can be honest with everybody else about everybody else but themselves. And honesty really is the enemy to growth. If you do not walk in honesty, I didn't say perfection, and I'm going to deal with this in just a second. I didn't say perfection. I said if you didn't walk in honesty. I'm not saying to you, you got to be perfect to live your best life. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you got to be honest. You got to be honest about what you are and what you're not. You got to be honest about what you're doing and what you ain't. You got to be honest about what you can do better and what you should not be doing at all. You have to be honest with yourself. And people are struggling, not because they're not great people. They're struggling not because they don't have great ideas. They're struggling not because they haven't been called to do great and big things. They struggle because they can't look themselves in the mirror and be honest. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this on my personal live. I'm doing the last live in 2021 on my personal page tomorrow. And it's more of a serious topic. It's not I'm going to stray a little bit from the dating relationship stuff, and I'll get back to that in January because y'all love that. But I'm going to deal with a little bit of a serious topic tomorrow to really help a lot of people, because some of y'all are just struggling with being honest. You literally are not being truthful about your life, where you are in your life, where you're not in your life, where you need to be in your life. And it's impacting the results you're seeing in your life. And I'm just telling you, you're not going to see real results in your life until you learn how to be honest. You will not become anything without first being truthful. I need you to record that. You cannot become anything significant without first being truthful. It's that simple. You got to be truthful. You've got to be honest with you about you. You got to be honest with you about you. Now, I'm going to challenge some of you. Some of you are not going to like this. I've taught this before, but I'm going to challenge some of you. When I say being honest with you, I mean being honest with you. Here's the thing about honesty. Honesty is objective. It's not subjective. Meaning there is no opinion in honesty. It's black and white. It ain't gray. It's yes, no. It ain't maybe. Honesty is very objective, right? And this is one of the challenges that I have when people say things like, oh, I'm living my truth, or I'm walking in my truth. First of all, truth don't belong to you. Listen to me. I don't want to lose you here. Truth doesn't belong to you. It's a sexy phrase. It's a popular phrase that you hear in pop culture. Yeah, child, live your truth. Walk in your truth. Truth don't belong to you. It doesn't. Your truth could be, I think I'm a great person. No, that's a bad example. Your truth could be, I think I'm a nice person. That could be your truth. But if everybody around you know you got an attitude, your truth is just what you telling yourself. It's not the truth. Okay. So, truth is objective. It's not subjective. And we so easily throw that phrase around. I'm walking in my truth. I'm living in my truth. I'm operating in my truth. It doesn't belong to you. Truth is what it is, with or without you. And it's bigger than you, and it's greater than you. But you got to start there, because you cannot. And I want to just say this before I get into this confession thing, because some of you probably saw that flyer, like, what in the world is Dr. Zeb talking about now? And you got a man in a confession booth. And I don't know if many of you knew what that was. I actually have some friends who grew up Catholic, who talk about confession booths and having to sit in booths and do these types of things. I have some friends that lived overseas, where they still have some of those things around, have done this kind of stuff. And I know some of you probably saw that flyer. What in the world is he talking about now? Like, he wants us to stand in the booth somewhere? No, I have not lost my mind, y'all. Y'all know there's always a method behind what I come with, always. But I'm going to get into confession in a second. But before we even go there, I'm just telling you, in 2022, some of you need to be more honest with you about you. Okay? You've got to be more honest with you about you. And the minute, listen to me, I'm telling you from personal experience, the minute you become more honest with you about you is going to be the minute your life is going to start to transition into exactly what it is you desire it to be. Because here's the thing. Some of you are talented. Some of you are gifted. Some of you have great ideas. Some of you have great visions about what you want to do for your life, your business, your family, your career, and your relationships, in whatever. But the thing that's blocking many of you is you just not being truthful about you. You're not being truthful about what you do, what you don't do. You're not being truthful about what you like, what you don't like. You're not being truthful about what you're good at and what you're not good at. American Idol has become a multi-billion-dollar show. Why? Because a whole lot of people went to go sing and nobody stopped them and said, you can't sing. And nobody stopped themselves and said, wait a minute, I might sound good in the shower, but if you put me on the stage, on a international stage with other singers, maybe I don't belong over there. That's truthfulness. And see, we've got to operate in that kind of truthfulness if we are going to experience anything significant in our lives, right? You got to be truthful about your flaws. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but this is probably a good way to say this. You got to even be truthful about your flaws. Look, if you're going to start, let's use this as an example. If you're going to start a business and one of your flaws is a lack of organization, like you're not organized, ladies, your shoes, you got 50 pairs of shoes in your trunk. I said what I said. You got 50 pairs of shoes in your trunk. You're not organized. You can't keep up with stuff. You're always late. You never stay on top of stuff. But your goal is to start a business. I'm not saying you can't start the business. You can start the business. And you can not only start the business, you can do well. But let me tell you what you might ought to do. You might ought to be very honest. I know that's got to be Nick with her crazy stuff. You might better be very honest with yourself and say, hold on, I'm going to do this business, but let me work on my organization skills. All right. I won't run this business, but I'm always late. Let me work on my time management and my scheduling and my planning. Right. And see, we do this to ourselves. We jump into things, or we wonder why things aren't happening for us, or we wonder why things are not coming together for us. But the reality is, many of you are just not sitting down being honest. I wish I had my journal in here. I would even show y'all some of my paper. Some of the stuff that I have been honest with me about I have literally written it down and read it and just been like, wow, I can't believe I admitted that. But let me tell you something. God has literally unblocked so many things in my life. Why? Because I'm willing to be honest with me about me. And I'm telling you, if you're going to see significant results in your life, I want to say it again. If you're going to see significant results in your life, you've got to know the value of being honest with you about you. All right. Y'all stop this, because again, I want to say it. You can't become anything significant without first being truthful. That's in anything from singing to having a relationship to starting a business to going back to school to whatever you do. You ain't going to have nothing significant if you're not truthful first. All right. Does that make sense to y'all? All right. Now, let's deal with this idea of confession. All right. We're in James chapter 5, verse 16. I've already read that verse, but I want to deal with this idea of confession because many of you probably saw the flyer. You read the verse like, all right, so Pastor, you saying, and do I need to be truthful with people? You need to be truthful with me. Like, how does this confession thing work? And I want to talk about this. All right. I want to talk about what confession is and what it ain't. All right. Confession is not selective recall. All right. Confession is not what I would call selective recall. That ain't confession. That's a testimony. When you are selectively recalling things you do, or selectively, mentioning or saying things that you don't do well, you're selectively doing it. You're just testifying. You're not telling it all. Confession, I want you to record this. Confession is a complete reveal of everything. Confession is a complete reveal of everything. See, this is what makes confession. When you hear the phrase confess your faults to one another or confess your sins to God, what makes that so powerful is that when you confess something, you're telling everything. You ain't selectively picking and choosing what you want to tell. And again, people who selectively pick and choose what they want to tell and what they want to deal with are people who really aren't prepared to grow. They're not prepared to develop. They're not prepared to win. They're not prepared to be blessed. In fact, I don't even like hearing stories from people who only tell me part of it. If you ain't going to tell me everything, don't tell me nothing. I'm going to say that again slow, because I just gave some of y'all some friendship advice. Some of you got some raggedy friends who come to you and they only tell you part of what went down. No, if you're going to tell me the story, tell me the story. And this is the big one. Don't just tell me the story. Make sure you tell me your part in it. Oh, y'all, Instagram on fire now. They waking up. Tell me your part in it. Don't just tell me what they said. Don't just tell me what they did. Don't just tell me how they felt. Don't just tell me, how shady they were. Don't just tell me what they did to you. Tell me what you did. Tell me what you did. Because without that, we can't see real freedom. And some of you are really bound, for real. Some of you are really bound, especially in your relationships, your marriages, your friendships, your connections with people. Some of you are really bound because you are expecting transparency from people that you're not even giving full honesty to. I said what I said. Some of you are expecting people to lay all their cards on the table, and here you are, got 5 on the table and 3 in your back pocket. And the 3 you got in your back pocket are 3 deadly cards. Right? So you can't have it both ways. If you want to operate in full honesty with yourself, operate in the full blessings that you have in your life, you've got to be willing to reveal it all. You got to tell it all, right? And I want you to record this. I'm giving you a lot of nuggets today. I got a lot to give you today, but I want you to record today. I want this to be note heavy. Put it in the notes. If you're journaling while you're listening to this, do that as well. This is going to be note heavy today. Record this. The details reveal the sincerity of your desired change. I want to say this again. This is going to help somebody today. The details reveal the sincerity of your desired change. When you're telling it all, it is the details that reveal the sincerity of your desired change. Let me put this simply. When I'm helping people, when I'm counseling people, whether I'm counseling them individually, I do a lot of couples counseling with folks. Let me tell you something. I can tell people really want to change according to their level of honesty. People come in there, they halfway saying what they want to, what it is, leaving big parts out, God knows, in couple stuff, when they're doing a whole lot of pointing, they did this, they did it. But they never talk about what they do. They never talk about how they've been wrong. They never talk about how they had to apologize. When you're dealing with people like that, you are dealing with people who really don't want to change. It is the details that reveal the sincerity of your desired change. People who want to change come in there and be like, straight up pastor, Dr. Zed, whatever they call me, Dr. Zed, let me tell you what it is. This is what I did. They did this, but let me tell you, this is what I did. I admit I did this. I was a little crazy. I was a little toxic. I was a little stupid. I was a little dumb. And that is always an indicator that somebody's serious about changing. You're going to know you're serious about changing when you get serious about the truth, not your truth. It don't belong to you. Stop saying my truth. It ain't yours, not your truth. But you're going to know you're serious about change when you get serious about details. Period. Look, those of your parents know this is true with your kids. I know my kids are really sorry when I confront them about something they did and they give me the details. Dad, this is what I did. I was wrong. I'm sorry I was wrong. I know I shouldn't did this. I did this. I did this. I did this. It's the details. When they try to hit me with this stuff, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, for good. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's clear he don't want change. It's clear he didn't mean his sorry. He just sorry he got caught, right? So it's the details that reveal the sincerity of your desired change. And so I want you all in 2022. Here's the thing that I want to challenge you in 2022. I want to challenge you next year to master the details. Okay? I want to challenge you in 2022 to master the details. Somebody needs to record that. I want you in 2022 to master the details. This is so important. What do you mean? Master the details of your life. Master the areas of your life where you are not being truthful, and be truthful about those areas. Master the details, because it is in the details where we find the depth of our sincerity. Right? It's the stuff that you leave out that has the ability to free you. I'm giving y'all a word today. It is the stuff that you leave out of your testimony that has the ability to free you. Now, I get it. And I'm just say this really quickly about testimony, right? Because I do believe this, that when you're not telling it all, you're still bound by what you left out. You're going to know people are still bound when they're talking about something, but they leave out details. You're going to know they're still bothered by it. They're bound by it. Maybe they're still involved in it. When they don't give you all the details, there's something wrong. You catch somebody cheating and they only tell you part of it, chances are they either still like them or they still involved with them. When people really want to get out of that, or it was just a fling, or it was a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, or it was, just a sneaky link gone bad, whatever. When you catch them, they're gonna give you all the details. Why? Because they don't even want that no more. They're trying to come out of that, right? So when people don't tell it all, they're normally bound by what's left out. But this is why I really believe churches stop testimony service. Okay. Now, here's the thing. And I'm not anti-testimony service, but confession is not for everybody. Meaning, when you confess things, your confession. Oh man, look at it. Look, y'all. Look, y'all. Ain't that awesome? You saw this on my dad's desk. Look, I've been styling for a long time. I think I was like 3 in this picture. Two in this picture. Ain't that all right? Look at my daddy's glasses. He gonna kill me for this. Look at that. I've been styling y'all for a long time. Anyway, I believe this is why. I really believe this is why. That's a nice picture. It really is. I really believe this is why churches stop testimony service. When I say confess, I don't mean just go out here and just be telling everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But people got up in church and started telling all of their business. Like literally. First, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. I want to thank him for saving me, sustaining me, and keeping me alive. I give honor to the pastor, the first lady, the deacon, saints, and friends. The devil cut my lights off this week. The devil came and cut my lights off. And not only did he cut my lights off, but we didn't have no food in the house. And I was steps from hooking. The devil told me, go on out here and hook and get it. I'm saying, y'all ain't never been in no testimony, sir? I have. The devil told me to go on and hook and get it. But I told that devil, I'm not going to hook. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And folk get up there. Number one, we didn't need to hear about your lights being cut off. We sure didn't need to hear about you wanting to hook. We didn't need to hear all of that. And so there's a fine line. When I say master the details, I'm saying to you, you don't go out here and tell everybody your business. But what I am saying is you got to first be truthful with you. And I'm going to get through the steps of this because there's a process of confession, right? That I'm going to give to you that works, right? And it works, and it's a 3-step process. I'm gonna give it to you, but you don't go out here and just, I ain't saying, when I say be honest, I'm not saying get on Facebook and start ranting and raving about your stuff to folks, because I'm telling you, people ain't gonna stop you from talking. They're gonna let you talk. All right, then there's gonna be a conversation after you finish. All right, so that's why I believe testimony service truly stopped, because people did not understand what confession really is. Right. All right, now I want you to record this. Is this blessing anybody? Y'all tag 5 people. Hurry, y'all. Tag 5 people. I got a lot more notes I need to give you, and I'm trying to move through this really quickly. Again, just so grateful you tuned in last Sunday of the year. It's so good to see you virtually. Again, forgive this star behind me. It's killing me, y'all. I'm trying my best to teach, and this star is just wearing me out. All right. Record this. Ready? I want you to record this. Arrogance is the enemy of confession. Arrogance is the enemy of confession. This is going to be good right here. Record this. You're going to be the smartest person in your kitchen tomorrow if you off work. Arrogance is the enemy to confession. Arrogance. Arrogance is the enemy to confession. Nothing keeps you bound like acting like you ain't got no problem. Here we go. Nothing keeps you bound like acting like you don't have a problem. This is why I pastor the kind of church that I pastor. I have the approach that God has given me that I have. It's different. I'm not like most pastors. I ain't saying I'm the only pastor. Like, there's a lot of pastors out here who have this same kind of spirit and flavor that I've got. I ain't the only one. But I really believe that the reason why I have this is because I learned something a long time ago. And that is, nothing really keeps you bound like walking around acting like you ain't got no problem. There's a whole lot of people that will be a whole lot further if they just stop acting like they ain't got a problem. And it's arrogant. It is arrogant to walk around and act like you ain't got problems when you got problems. It's arrogant. It's been arrogant for years. The church has been guilty of this. It's been arrogant for the church to even exclude people who have certain problems, quote unquote problems, exclude them from coming to church or not making them feel welcome at church. That's arrogant. Because again, and y'all know how I feel about this, most of the folk you excluding from church, the problems they got, them problems in that church. They all in the church, everywhere. And y'all don't want me to go on that rant, and I'm not going to get on that rant today. All right? But, you know, we judge sis for standing up, testifying, talking about something I was almost hooking to pay my bills. When it be people in the church that's already hooking. So let's not be arrogant. Let's not act like we don't have issues. And so arrogance is really the real enemy of confession, which means you got to humble yourselves, right? You can't act like what has you bound is not there. You can't. And that's if something's got you bound in business. That's if something's got you bound in your career. That's if something's got you bound in your relationships, your marriage. If something has you bound in any area of your life, your finances, you can't walk around and act like you don't have a spending problem and then wonder why your credit bad and you in debt. You got to be honest. I like to spend money. I had to tell somebody, I told somebody that a couple of months ago, look, I like to spend money. I do. And I had to come to that conclusion in order to start doing better with my money, in order to start being able to use my money in a more productive way and allow my money to start working for me so I could travel more and do other things. But I had to be honest with myself. Look, Zeb, you just be blowing money. Like, get a grip on that, handle your business. And if you're honest about that, then you can live better financially. You can do more things financially. But it starts with honesty. But to walk around here and be like, I'm wondering why my credit ain't this. And I'm wondering why I don't have this in the bank. And I'm wondering why I can't buy this. And I wonder why I can't do this. All you got to do is pull up your bank statement and just read it. Look at all the times you see In-N-Out Burger Cookout on there. Look at all the times you see Saks Fifth Avenue on there. Look at all the times you see all them 5-star restaurants on there. It's easy to tell. It ain't hard to tell. You got to be honest about that. Again, when we're honest about it, then we don't walk around acting like what has us bound is not there. We admit that. We recognize it. It's not that we necessarily, we do accept it. We accept it, but it doesn't mean we're going to stay there, right? Because you can accept something without staying there, right? But accepting it means you acknowledge it, right? That you're honest about it. I ain't gonna lie. I know food is on if y'all want to see my receipts, it's food. And especially, all the traveling and stuff that I do, I don't go out of these, to these places and not eat. I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat. Like eat. And, soon as January get here, right back on my fitness diet stuff and be prepared to start traveling again. But I'm going to eat. I'm telling you, food is on my receipts. If you want to know where my money went, it is on plane tickets and food, period. And a little bit of clothes here and there. That's it. It ain't hard to tell, but you got to be honest with yourself about that. So you're not walking around here telling myself, "Oh, I want the Lord to make me debt free." Well, simple. Listen, y'all stop asking God for a financial miracle when all you got to do is pay your bills and save your money. I said what I said. Y'all begging God for a financial miracle. No, save your money. Eat at home sometimes. I'm guilty. I ain't just preaching to you. I'm talking to me too. Eat at home sometimes. I was telling Tiffany yesterday, kids are opening their gifts. And she brought them over. They came over, they were opening their gifts. And they were opening. I asked, I said, Tiffany, I said, you satisfied with the kids group? She said, yeah, I'm satisfied. I do stuff for them year round. And she said, you satisfied? I said, you better believe it. Shoot, at 8 and 9, I didn't know what Ruth's Chris was. My kids eat at Ruth's Chris almost once a month. At 8 and 9, I didn't even know. I didn't know what I didn't learn about Ruth's Chris, but just a few years ago. So at 8 and 9, they eat at Ruth's Chris almost once a month. And you're gonna ask me on Christmas, am I satisfied? I'm satisfied with Jesus and everything else. Listen. Be honest about your finances. If you don't need no miracle, if you pay your bills and save your money. And so that just all comes with honesty. But we correct arrogance with humility. Humility is the correction to arrogance. If you really want to walk in honesty, you got to walk in humility, right? Because it takes humility to admit things like, I'm a bad spender, right? I know that's right. K&W. Like if you went, let me tell you something. My daddy on Fridays used to take us to Burger King on Fridays and let us get a Whopper combo. And we thought we was eating. This Burger King right down here off of Brookdale in Martinsville. We thought we was eating on Fridays, where before the football game, he would take us to Burger King and let us get a Whopper combo. Oh, we was eating. My kids walk around 89 Ruth's Chris, got napkins on their lap, asking for Shirley Temples. Got nice. Four got a suit on. Giselle got a dress. I'm like, y'all have no, and you think I'm worried about what ain't on your list that won't under that tree? Man, please. Listen, it takes you. You got to be right. Wendy's, that 4 for 4 be smashing for a whole lot of people. You got to be honest, right? And so it takes humility. Humility is the counter to arrogance. If you're in a season where you feel like you're not being truthful, you have a humility issue. I'm going to say this again slow. If you're in a season where you feel like you're not being truthful, he's supposed to treat my grandmother didn't. I believe it. Listen, and I don't want to go down that bunny hole, but they did. A lot of our older folks, man, they ate at home. Like they just didn't. Now, when they passed away, a lot of them had all kinds of pensions and all kinds of money hid under socks and under the floor and stuff that they had saved for years. And you was complaining about going to Burger King. They passed away and they had thousands of dollars sitting around, right? But a lot of them didn't believe in that. But listen, we got to be humble, y'all. If you are not being honest with yourself about any area of your life, you have a humility issue. You got to address that. The Bible's clear here that if we humble ourselves, the Bible says this, if we humble ourselves before him, in due time, he will what? Exalt us, which means he'll lift us up. He'll lift us out of debt if we're honest about our spending. He'll lift us up out of bad relationships if we're honest about our attitude in a relationship. If he'll lift us up out of bad careers if we're honest about the fact that we chose a bad one, or we chose a bad job, or we're honest about the fact that we don't come to work every day on time, right? It is honesty that is the answer to arrogance. It is honesty that is the answer sometimes to getting the things that you desire. But y'all got to be honest. You got to spend in 2022. I need more of you again to master the details and spend more time looking in the mirror. It works, y'all. I spent a lot of time. What's this? December. I spent a lot of time the last 15 months in the mirror. And I'm going to tell you, it's a beautiful thing. It can be a challenging and frightening thing sometimes, but nothing grows you better. Nothing makes your energy glow better than when you didn't spend some time with yourself. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this on my personal channel tomorrow, my personal live tomorrow. Y'all know it's going to be wild, but I'm going to talk a little bit about this. It's going to be somewhat serious because a lot of people feel bad in this season because they're not being honest. You're not being honest about where you are, what you do, what you don't do. And for many of you, the blame starts with you. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad as much as I'm just trying to be honest with you. It starts with you. You want to live a better life, you got to be honest with you about you. All right? And that's where it starts. Arrogance does not move God. Humility does. Record it. Arrogance will never move God, but humility does. Arrogance will never move God, but humility does. Show me somebody who walks in humility, and I'll show you somebody that God's getting ready to bless. I don't care what they did. I don't care what they're guilty of. I don't care how bad they messed up. I don't care what you know about them. I don't care what you think you know about them. I don't care about none of that. Show me somebody who walks in humility, and I'll show you somebody God can't resist. God simply can't resist humility. He can't resist it. He resists the proud. The Bible says this. He resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. He simply cannot resist humility. If you want to be blessed in any area of your life, put some humility on it. You want to be blessed in your finances? Put some humility on that. You want to be blessed in your relationships? Put some humility on that. You want to be blessed in your marriage? Put some humility on that. You want to be blessed in your connections with people? Put some humility on it. Stop making everything about you. Put some humility on your friendships and your connect, and watch. All of a sudden, you're going to see things begin to change. You're going to see things begin to turn, but that requires honesty. You got to be honest if you're going to see those kinds of results. All right? Now, I want you to record this. I hope this is blessing somebody. I want you to record this. Share this video. We've got about 25 more minutes. I want you to share this video quickly. Record this. The release of guilt is the reward of confession. The release of guilt is the reward of confession. When you confess, God in exchange takes guilt from you, right? He takes guilt from you. He takes shame from you. He takes pride from you. He takes arrogance from you, right? The release of guilt is the reward of confession. When you confess, he takes this, and this is important, especially for the believer and for people who just desire to do right. If you desire to do the right things, if you desire to have the right things in your life, whether it's connections with people, whether it's in your finances, your business, whatever, you desire to have the right things, do the right things, you will understand that if you feel bound about any area of your life, the first step you ought to do is start talking to God. The first thing you ought to do, if you feel bound about your money, you need to start talking to God and say, God, why do I feel so bad about my money? Why do I feel so bad about where I am financially? And if you have an honest conversation with him, he'll reveal some honest stuff with you. He'll be like, go check your bank account. He'll be like, go look at your statement from last month. Right? We just think God talked to us about this big, great grandson. Go start a business. Your wife is coming. Your husband's coming. No, sometimes he'd be like, go check your bank statement. And you pulling up stuff. And you're like, oh, my food bill for last month was $2,600. That's why I can't go on that trip to Italy in a couple of months, right? So you got to be honest there, right? But for the believer or not, if you feel bound, the first way to overcome it is to start talking to God. Because if we're honest with him and truthful with him, and here's the kicker, here's the key, right? Here's the catch. I'm telling you to be honest with somebody, watch, that already knows anyway. So what makes your honesty with him so powerful is that God, like a good parent, wants to know if you're willing to tell him and reveal to him what it is that he already knows, because it speaks to the condition of your heart. When your kid admits to you something that you already know they did, it's less about them telling you what you knew, because you already knew it. But them admitting what you already knew is a reflection of the condition of their heart. Is this blessing making sense to anybody? If you're in a relationship with somebody and they do wrong by you and they admit to you that what they did and you already knew it, yeah, it's going to hurt. But the fact that they could admit it also is somewhat a reflection of their heart. Right? And so credit can be given in that space. Right? So when you start talking to God and you admit to him the things that he already knows, in exchange for that, he begins to lift the burden from your heart, right? He begins to make you aware of your flaws and your challenges in whatever area of your life, so that you can make those corrections and have better finances, have better relationships, have better careers, be more successful in your business, be more successful in school, be more successful in whatever it is that you do. But again, it starts with honesty, right? And it's good for the soul because it frees your soul, right? Honesty is good for the soul because it frees the soul. I want you to record that. Honesty is good for the soul because it frees the soul. That's what makes honesty so powerful. Nothing frees you like telling the truth. Nothing. I don't care if you went out here and stole $20,000 from somebody. It don't matter what it is you did. Nothing will free you like telling the truth. Now, it don't mean you may not have to pay for what you did. It may not mean that there's no consequences for what you did. Honesty is good for the soul because it frees you. And when you're walking in freedom, that's when you can walk in manifestation. I want to say this again slow. I'm giving y'all a lot. When you're walking in freedom, the freedom of honesty, that's when you can walk in manifestation. Some of you are not manifesting great things in your life because you're bound by the stuff you won't be honest about. You got to be honest about that stuff. When you start being honest about things in your life, then all of a sudden the weight and the burden of your challenges, your flaws, the things you do well, the things you don't do well, that weight is lifted from you, and suddenly you start to see results in your life. And so oftentimes, again, the key to seeing results is locked into our ability to be honest, our willingness to be honest, our willingness to walk in honesty, so that once that burden is gone, then you can command things. Come on, manifestation. You can Mark 11, 23, 24. I want you to put that. Moderators, put that in the comments. St. Mark chapter 11, 23, verse 24. For those of you that don't think manifestation is real, it is. Mark 11, 23. Say it without doubt. Have faith, believe. It's done. It's that simple. But it's hard to make that command over your life when you bound. And here's the reality. And I don't want to be mean today. I'm going to be nice today. But here's the reality. Reality is some of you just ain't seeing results in your life because you're just not being real. You're not being honest. You're just not being honest. Mark chapter 11, verse 23 through 24. Mark 11, chapter 11, verse 23 through 24. It tells us right there. The key to it, being able to see those types of results as you intend to have things in your life, you got to be honest with you first. Wipe the slate clean. Stop trying to manifest stuff in your life and see things happen in your life, but you're doing it on a dirty slate. Be honest. Yes, God, I'm speaking this business into my life, right? Let me give you an example. A Mark 11, 23, 24 example. Yes, God, I speak this business in my life. My business is going to be successful. I'm going to rack in 6 figures a month on my business. It's going to be successful. I'm going to have customers in 14 states, all of this stuff. That's great. But before you get down that road of manifesting, what you need to do is this. You need to say, but God, before you do it, help my organization skills. Help my wastefulness. See, y'all don't like that part. Help me, God, not to be so wasteful, because I realize the way I'm going to manage a multi-million-dollar business is I've got to learn how to do better with waste. I can't waste my time. I can't waste my resources. I can't waste people's efforts. Help me not to be wasteful. Help me to be a little bit more organized. Help me to be better, stay better locked into my time and how I manage my time. See, we want to manifest, but we want to do it on a dirty, unconfessed slate. And so the key to being free from stuff and being able to walk in stuff is to be honest about stuff. Because see, then when you start trying to manifest, then when you start trying to confess things over your life or proclaim things over your life, you're doing it over a slate that's clean. Yeah, God, send me a man, God. Send me a woman, God. I want to be in a healthy relationship. I want to be in all this stuff, but help me to be truthful at all times. Help me. Here we go. Help me, God, to do better with my attitude, because I know sometimes I'm a lot to deal with. Look how quiet the comments getting. See, we'll ask for the man, but we won't ask God to fix our attitude too. We'll ask God for a woman, but we won't ask God to make us honest in their face and behind their back, will we? Right? And so part of this, and I get it. This is what I'm talking. So Mark 11:23, the Bible doesn't lie. Mark 11:23-24 does not lie. You can say anything without doubt, and it's going to happen. But you better make sure you say it on a clean slate. You got to be honest with you about you. Right? And that's where it starts. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to go in on your relationship stuff. Woo. Y'all come see me tomorrow. I got a little bit of that I'm going to deal with on my regular channel. All right. Look at this. Go back to James chapter 5. Go back to James chapter 5. And let's look at this. Let's look at verse 13-15 really quickly, because I'm running out of time. James chapter 5, verse 13-15. Oh, I know. Yeah. Y'all be honest about that attitude. Honesty, I love that. Honesty absolutely kills ego. You get a lot less egotistical when you're honest with you about you. Like, you be wanting to lay folk out about being liars, but then you remember all the times you lied. You be wanting to come down on people about how sneaky they are, but then you remember all the times you were sneaky. You be wanting to come down on people about their bad attitude, but then you remember all the times you snapped off at people for no reason. See, that honesty thing will take your ego and bring it way down here. It'll take your pride thing and bring it way down here. It'll take your arrogance, walking around like you ain't got no problems, and bring it way down here. That's what it does. All right, look at this. James chapter 5, verse 13-15, New Living Translation. I want to read this quickly here. I want to read this really quickly because I want to connect something to something else that the lack of honesty or arrogance does. Look at this. Verse 13 says this: Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing songs. Verse 14. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. Verse 15. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. And then he goes into verse 16 where he says, confess your faults to one another and pray for one another that you might be healed. This is what I want you to lift. I want to lift out of this. Here's reality. Some of you may not believe this, but some of you are spiritually and maybe even physically sick because of your lack of confession. Some of you are either spiritually sick or maybe even physically sick because of your lack of confession. Would you believe me if I said to you that the stuff you keep bottled up inside of you can actually do physical harm to your body? I know I'm going to lose some of you here, but I want you to go. If you don't believe me, go ask a good doctor. A good doctor will tell you that what makes things like therapists, counselors, working out, dieting, exercise so powerful is that when you do those things, talking to a therapist, counselor, working out, dieting, you are releasing from your body stress. You are releasing from your body tension. You're releasing from your body those things that are built up in you that if they're not released from you, then manifest in other ways, i.e., and I see that, Nick, that's good, migraines, depression, right? I believe this. I truly believe this, that it's not accidental that James puts these verses before the confession verse. I believe this. When you confess, it creates a release of what's bottled up inside of you. Some of you are going to physically feel better when you learn how to be honest with you. Some of you are going to physically feel better. I mean, in your body. I know. And I don't have time. You're right. See, this is a whole different. I'm a nerd too. I love that. The release of endorphins comes in a lot of different spaces. It's not just when you meet people or in encounters with people where you're attracted, but also with stress. And I'm a nerd. I read and watch a lot of videos on stuff like this. And I don't want to go down that bunny hole today, but I will say this because it was just mentioned on Instagram and it's worth mentioning. Just like occasionally using the bathroom, doing number 2 regularly keeps your body functioning well. Being honest with yourself about your life is the occasional number 2 that your spirit needs in order for your spirit to be well. Does that make sense to y'all? I know it's graphic, but does that make sense? Just as your body needs an occasional number 2 for it to function well, your spirit needs an occasional number 2 for your spirit to function well. It does. And so the release works the same way. We can't say that we believe physical things block up our physical body if we don't release them physically. But then on the other hand, say, nah, stress ain't gonna cause me to have these kinds of disease, or stress can't cause me to have migraines. Stress can't cause me to possibly have cancer. Stress can't cause me to have these other. Yes, it can. I absolutely believe that. Now, I'm not saying it's the sole cause, but I absolutely believe it can be a cause. And again, you talk to a real MD. I'm not an MD. I'm a PhD. You talk to an MD, and they'll tell you. And I believe in this. Look, I don't know if you guys have never heard of him. You know, he's deceased. Dr. Sebi, Sebi, is somebody you ought to pull up on YouTube and just watch a couple of videos. Dr. Sebi, I believe the government killed him. Is my opinion, because Dr. Sebi, if you study anything about his work, and again, I'm a nerd. I don't just talk about communion and shouting. I'm well read and balanced. I have to be. I preach to GEDs and PhDs. But Dr. Sebi really believed that AIDS could be cured. And not only he believed it could be cured, I'm just using this as an example. He believed that AIDS could be cured through natural herbs, that our body had the ability to heal itself if it was properly detoxed and properly then supported with the proper things. And he had actual case studies of people that were healed, and the dude ends up dead. We're having this conversation. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine a few nights ago, just talking about how even down to this COVID virus, I'm not saying COVID ain't real. It's clearly real. We've lost a lot of people. It's clearly real, but come on, y'all. Come on. And I'm not trying to be all conspiracy on y'all today, but come on. Come on, y'all. All of these Nobel Peace Prize winning scientists we got around here, COVID been on the Lysol can for years. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Lysol's got COVID's name on it. It's been on the Lysol can for years. All I'm saying is this. I'm not trying to get all conspiracy on y'all today, but all I'm saying is this. Your body has the ability to heal itself. It does. Your body has the ability to heal itself. And again, I'm not going to get into this. I don't want to turn this into a conspiracy thing. I hear y'all. Listen, it has the ability to heal itself. You don't believe it? Go out here and fall on the ground, scrape your arm, and don't do nothing to it. And what will happen is your skin will eventually come back and it will cover itself. That's just a basic elementary example. So if we know that to be true, I want to say this as well, that when you are honest with God and with yourself about your life, when you are honest with yourself and with God about your life, I really believe it releases things from your spirit that keeps your body cleansed, that keeps your spirit cleansed, that keeps energy. For those of you that like that word, I love that word. That keeps your energy cleansed. that can even be as simple as keeping your face clean. I heard an old person tell another person, a young person, this is years ago, and I laughed because I thought about, some of the saints, the older saints, how they used to talk to us growing up. I heard an older saint tell somebody a few years ago, if you want your face to clear up, start being truthful. It rocked my world. I couldn't help but laugh because that's how the old saints used to believe stuff like that. You got acne on your face, start telling the truth. Now, I'm not, don't y'all hit me with, you're trying to say the reason I got these bumps on my face because I'm true. I'm not saying that that's the only thing. Their point was simple, that sometimes when we have things bottled in us that we have not released from our spirit, that we have not released from inside of us, it can manifest itself in other forms. Are y'all listening to me? It can totally manifest itself in other forms. So be truthful. They didn't, ask your grandparents and them, they didn't used to say stuff like that. It's the truth. What they used to call that little bump on your tongue. Anybody ever had a little bump on their tongue as a kid? What they used to call it? Anybody know? Anybody else know? From the country or got folks that was from the country? What they used to call that little bump that used to be on the tongue? If you had a little bump on your tongue, what they used to call it? Anybody know? Lie bump. There it is. I was waiting on somebody to answer. It used to be called a lie bump. And they would tell you, you got a little bump on your tongue, you was a kid, you was complaining about it. They would tell you straight up, start telling the truth. You know why? I like that, Cuban, because the physical will always reflect the spiritual. Eventually. It may not in the beginning. Some of y'all can fake it for a long time. Some of you physically look like you got it together, but spiritually you're a mess. Some of you physically look like you got it together, but emotionally you're a mess. Some of you physically look like you got it together, but you're not being honest with you about you. But I'm telling you, over time, that's going to show up. The old saints believed that. And it wasn't just saying, it was just old people, older people in general. The reason you got the bump on your tongue because you're telling too many lies. Start telling the truth. Nick said, I used to get them all the time, just lie for no reason. Right. Come on. I know I'm not making this stuff up. Your body will reflect what's inside of you. And so I just want to submit this to you. I really believe this. That what is not released through your spirit can grow with you. It can grow with you. If you don't release things from your spirit, bad things, challenging things from your spirit, as your body grows, those things can grow with you if you're not honest about those things. And I really believe that many of you are struggling physically, maybe even in your health, mentally, because you just haven't reached a place of being fully free with yourself and honest with yourself about where you are, where you're not, who you are, who you're not. And I can't stress it enough. I can talk about this all day. There's a different layer and level of freedom that just comes with that honesty and walking in that honest space. All right. And so I want to challenge y'all to do that. And you're going to see some different things happen. Now, the 3 steps in this confession process I want you to follow. Right? We're talking about confession. We're talking about admitting stuff so you can be free from it, so you can live your best life, so you can live your best life, not only in just 2022, but in the years to come. There are 3 steps to confession that work. They're tried and true, proven. They work. All right. Here they go. Step number 1. 3 steps and I'm done. Step number 1 is this. The first step in confession is confessing to God. Your first step, confess to God. Right? So before you get out here and start telling people all your business, go to God first. Because here's the thing. Number 1, he knows about it. Number 2, he's one of few people that can know where you've been and not see you differently. I'm giving y'all nuggets, man. Y'all ain't typing fast enough. Number 1, he already knows about it. Confess to him. He already know. Number 2, he's one of few people that can know where you been and not discredit where you going. Ain't a lot of people in your life that can know what you did and still not minimize the value of who you are. Most people know where you came from, what you did, what you was involved in, how you messed up, and all of a sudden they can't see you the same. God's not like that. Every now and then you'll meet people who are exceptional spirits, who can know your challenges, know your flaws. This is why I know everybody that's called a preacher ain't called a pastor. Preaching is one thing. I hear preaching and screaming at folks is one thing. Pastoring, you got to know people's dirt. You got to know their slime. You got to know the slop that's on them, and you got to still see their potential. That's a different kind of seeing people, right? So he's one of few people that knows where you've been, knows what you did, and can still see you according to your potential, and still see you according to your future, and still see you according to the plans he has for your life. All right. So the first step is simple. Confess to God. Sometimes it's easier to tell him than it is to tell yourself. Anybody ever been in a position? I'll speak about me. Anybody ever been in a position where it was easier to talk to God about some stuff than it was to even talk to yourself? That it was easy to cry and scream to him about stuff, and you couldn't even break down and look yourself in the mirror and be like, man, I did it. I did that. I was stupid. That's a whole word. But the reason it's easy is because he knows, but it's also easy because you know he's not going to minimize your value when you're honest with him. He's not going to do it. He can still look at you as the king you are, as the queen you are, as the business owner you are, as the successful wife you are, as the successful husband you are, as the successful mate you are. He can still look at you at all of those things and know your flaws at the same time. All right. So step one is simple. You got to confess to him. Step two is confess to ourselves. All right. So step one, if you're going to admit stuff and be free from it. Step one, confess to God. Step two, confess to yourself, not to people, to yourself. Why? I just said sometimes it's harder to tell you than it is to tell him. Here's what I also learned. Once you tell him, it becomes easier to tell you. Does that make sense? I hope it doesn't sound like I'm talking in circles, right? Sometimes it's hard to confess, it's easier to tell God things than it is to be honest with yourself about those things. But I've also discovered that once you do talk to God about things in your life, your challenges, your flaws, things you can do better, things you want to improve on, all of that stuff, then once you do that, it then becomes easier for you to digest who you are. In other words, you can digest the fact that you struggle in how you spend your money if you're honest with God and say, God, I'm struggling with how I spend my money, and I need you to help me. And then all of a sudden, that confession you made to him becomes a whole lot easier for you to make it to yourself. And some of us, this is a word here. Some of us are struggling with accepting who we are because we're struggling with telling God. Some of us are struggling with accepting where we are because we are struggling with being honest with God. And I'm telling you, the key is to reverse it. Be honest with God first. It's so much easier to be honest with you second. Is this making sense to anybody, y'all? Is this making sense to anybody at all? Be honest with God first. It's so much easier for you to be honest with yourself second. All right, so let's fix the order. And when you are honest with yourself, you're not doing it in a way where you're proud of yourself. I'm not saying be arrogant. Yep, I did that, child. I cussed them out, child. My attitude is horrible, child. That's just who I am, and I'm freeing myself today by being free with myself to tell myself I just got a bad attitude and I know it. No, we're not being boastful. We're not being arrogant. All right? Because when you do it right, you're not being honest with yourself and confessing with yourself to be proud. You're doing it because you want to be free. There's confessing because you're trying to be honest and you're being proud. There's confessing because you want to be free. And those have two different sets of energies. And let me give you an example. This is an easy example. When somebody apologizes to you and they're arrogant, how do you receive it? You don't. Well, you're going to worry me to death. So here's your apology. I'm sorry. I should have never did it. All right. Is that good enough? There's no freedom in that. There's no freedom in that. Right? But if somebody apologizes to you, they own it. Even if you had a part in it, but they own it all. Listen, I realize that maybe you could have had a part in this, but I own everything. I'm not going to blame you for my behavior. I was wrong. I was at fault. And I really want you to accept my part. It's got a different energy, y'all. It's got a different flavor. And some of y'all have taken half-hearted apologies from folks who just put it out there and they shut you up, but you took it and they had the wrong energy behind it. So it becomes a whole lot easier for you to digest you and for you to be freed from you when you do it with the right attitude, right? When you get the order right, when you confess to God first, deal with you second, all right? Here's the third thing, and it's found in James chapter 5, verse 16. We read it, right? Confess your faults to one another. Here's the third step to confession that works. The third step in confession is to someone else. I'm going to help some of y'all today. The third step in confession is to confess to someone else. So you don't start there. You don't start off by confessing to people. You start by confessing to God. This is important because your confession to God is then going to train and craft your spirit to be humble enough to confess to yourself. And then confessing to yourself is going to free you enough to be able to then be humble enough to go to somebody else and confess to them. Now, what do you mean by confessing to somebody else? I'm not talking about old boy that was on this flyer that was to set y'all up. I'm not talking about old boy that was on this flyer that was sitting in the booth. No, you don't have to confess to your pastor. Y'all don't owe me no explanation for nothing. I want to be real clear here. Okay? You don't owe me no explanation for nothing. Now, granted, as a pastor, I'm privy to conversations most people will never hear. The government even respects those conversations. Many of you don't know this, but a person can confess something to a pastor in confidence, and by law, I ain't even got to admit it in court. That's a fact. Even the government holds pastors to a different level of being able to receive when it comes to dealing with people and their issues, right? So I'm not talking about even confessing to me. I don't ask people their business. If people want to share it, I allow them to, and I'll use it to help them. And I'm a refrigerator. You ain't gonna hear them on the streets. I don't get down like that. But I am saying this to you. This is important. When I say confess to someone else, I'm especially talking to those of you that have offended people. This is where I might lose the rest of my few viewers this morning. I'm especially talking to those of you that have offended people, because I'm here to tell you, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how blessed you are. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how many doors are opening for you. Let me tell you something. Some of you are only going to go as far as your willingness to make things right with people. It's that simple. And if you're a believer, what's a believer? Somebody who said they believe in Jesus Christ, who said they've accepted him as their Lord and Savior. Let me tell you something. If you're a believer, something ought to wear on your conscience when you know you have done wrong by people and you walk around them like you ain't done nothing at all. I put it up as a status. Was it a status or was it a video? It may have been a video Wednesday about forgiveness. The reality is some of y'all have been offended by people that are so arrogant that you're going to die before you get an apology. There's some people that literally going to die and they will never apologize to you. And you're going to have to accept that. They're too arrogant to apologize. They're too rude to apologize. They're too blind to apologize. They're too blind to see they're wrong. They're too blind to see what they've done. And some of y'all, I'm telling you, either they're going to see their grave or you're going to see yours before you get an apology. And that's unfortunate. But I'm especially talking to those of you that know you have offended people. Let me tell you something. The third step in confession is going to them and making it right. Because listen, when you have been honest with God and you've been honest with yourself, I believe this, and I'm telling you from personal experience, God puts a level of grace on you. What's grace? Grace is the glaze that goes over a well-cooked piece of salmon. Right? Salmon's good, but if you've got a really nice glaze, y'all can tell I'm hungry. Salmon's great by itself, especially if it's cooked well. But if you got a nice, thing of glaze on the salmon, whoo, it just takes the salmon to the next level. That's what grace is. When you go to God and confess and you're honest to him, when you are honest with yourself, then when you try to make it right with somebody, guess what? I truly believe this, that those people you try to go to that you confess to will see the glaze on your life. They'll see the grace on your life and they'll be able to receive. They may still be offended. They may still be hurt by what you did. They may still be offended by what you said or what you did, but they're going to see the glaze on your life. They're going to see the grace on your life. And I'm telling you, it's going to be easier for them to digest the fault. It's going to be easier for them to digest your wrong because you're coming to them with the right glaze or the right energy or the right spirit. And so I want to challenge y'all. I'm serious here. The purpose of this step is not to embarrass you. The purpose of this step is for you not to just throw yourself at the foot of somebody else. But the purpose of confessing to somebody else is so that you can get help, so that you can be covered. You can be covered by the person that offended you. If it's a pastor, if it's a well-trusted confidant, if it's a therapist, you don't go in no therapy session not being truthful, do you? Right? You don't go in no counseling session not being truthful, do you? I counseled a young lady, I think it was Thursday, and her mom, and talked to them Thursday about some career things that she's trying to do. And I had to apologize to her because like 9-10 minutes in, I was still asking questions. But I said, listen, I have to ask questions because I need to get all the data from you before I can help you. And that's how confession works. You wouldn't go to a counselor or a therapist and not give them the truth if you really want to be helped. Right? And so you got it, confession to other people is not about being embarrassed. It's about being helped. It's about saying, listen, this is what I did. This is what's going on. Help me, cover me. Maybe I offended you. This is what was going on. Now cover me. You may be offended. You may still be upset, but cover me, because it is that covering that really, it's that plea and that honesty in that plea that really reveals the nature of your heart. I'm trying to help y'all, man. I'm trying to listen. A whole lot more relationships, marriages, friendships, especially, would be salvaged if people were just honest about what they did and what they didn't do. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help us. If folks were just honest about what they did and what they didn't do, it takes great humility there, right? We'll tell God about it. We'll be honest with ourselves, but boy, some of y'all trip up on step 3 where you got to go to the person you wrong. Or go to the person, I got a better one than that. Go to the person who wronged you. Because sometimes some of y'all are waiting on the offender to come to you. When some of you got more God, you got more strength, you got more grace. And sometimes you got to go to the offender and make it right. That wasn't a miss. I didn't mistalk there. I want to say it again. Sometimes you got to go to the person who offended you and make it right. That's a whole different level of growth. Look at y'all. I ain't going to them. I ain't going to them. They did it. They started it. They started. I finished it. I wasn't wrong. They were wrong. They the liar, not me. You really got God for real in you, and you really trying to grow strong for real? Let me tell you what God does sometimes. Sometimes God pulls you to them, and he makes you become the catalyst for their change. There's some people who offended you that will change when you become the catalyst for their change. Y'all don't want this. Are y'all listening to the old man? That's a different level of growth. That's a different level of maturity. That's a different depth of growth. When you know somebody's offended you, but you go to them. Hey, listen, I want to just clear the air. I want to clear the air. I don't want to keep going back and forth with you about what happened. It happened. It's what it is. I was offended. You know how I feel about it. This is, if you didn't know, I'm telling you now how I feel about it. Like I'm going to have to go to my dad when this broadcast is over and be like, Daddy, this star offended me. I had to do this broadcast with this star behind me. And it wasn't my fault. It was your fault. But it offended me. And I want you to be free today by pulling that star down. Are y'all listening to the old man? Does this make sense? Right? That's a different level of humility. It's a totally different level of humility. But I believe this, as you grow in the grace of God, God sometimes takes you that route. He's really been dealing with me on this. He's been dealing with me on this for the last 2-3 weeks. I'm gonna be completely transparent here. He's been really dealing with me on this for the last 2-3 weeks. And sometimes, man, he just fixes it so some stuff ain't gonna get better until you become the catalyst. Until you become the person until you become the person to go to the offender and say, listen, this is what you did. This is how I felt. This is what it did to me. This is how it impacted me. But listen, I forgive you. I don't like it. I'm not good with it. I'm still healing from it. But this is what it is. And we're going to move on. We're going to move forward. Right? I'm telling y'all, that's growth. That's growth. That's next level forgiveness. And I'm here to tell you, this is what makes you righteous. What makes you righteous is not being perfect. What makes you righteous or right standing in God is not what you did, but it's what you're willing to confess. It's what you're willing to say. This bless anybody, y'all? I'm done. I'm way over. This bless anybody today at all? This last Sunday of the year? Did this bless anybody today? Was this a blessing? I tell you, I really enjoyed this message personally. I think confession has so much more impact on our lives than what so many of us believe. You know, your ability to confess and willingness to confess who you are, where you are, and what it is that you're struggling with is so critical to unlocking so many things, from just great things happening into your life to, frankly, your health. Some of you didn't know until today that maybe some of the health challenges you got is locked into some of the things you haven't been honest with yourself about. I'm serious. I'm serious, man. Your body functions in a different level of freedom when there's nothing physically holding it down. There's nothing holding down your spirit. There's nothing weighing down your energy. There's nothing weighing you down. This is why people who have done things for years, and nobody knew about it, when people find out about it, you talk to them, they'll tell you, listen, how you feel? Well, yeah, I'm devastated. People know, but I'm free. How many times have y'all heard that? How many times have you heard people get busted for stuff they was doing for years? And then when they got busted, you say, yeah, you know, I'm hurt. People know, people saying whatever, that's fine. But listen, I'm free. I'm free. I like this. Look, somebody on Instagram said, this is powerful. Hit home. I'm going to go talk to a good friend. I need to be honest with him. Listen, man, this stuff works. Be honest with God first. Make sure you talk to God first. Talk to him. Be honest with yourself about it. Go free yourself, man. Go talk to the people that offended you. Go talk to the people you offended. I'm telling you, nothing frees you better. Nothing frees you better. And then you can move on without that weight of that situation or that offense sitting on your back. Listen, y'all, I want to pray for you. I want to pray for you. If this message resonated with you, I want you to drop your prayer request. This is the last prayer request of 2021. So I need everybody that's tuned in or everybody that's watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, I want you to go in and type in your prayer request. But I need everybody to type in your prayer request. If you've got a prayer request that you cannot type, you can email it to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. And put in the subject line, prayer request. All right, put in the subject line, prayer request. This is the last prayer request Sunday of 2021. So if you got a prayer request concerning this year or for next year, whatever it is, I need everybody tuned in, Lottie, Dottie, everybody, to type in your prayer request right now, because I want to pray for you this year. I want to pray for you for the remaining days of this year as we get ready to walk into a brand new year, brand new season in so many of our lives. And I'm praying for good. Come on, good. They're starting to roll in now. I like this. I love the last Sunday of every year. But I want you to type in your prayer requests really quickly. Come on, do it quickly. You've got 40 seconds. I need you to do it really fast. Really fast. They're starting to roll in really quickly. Praying for sickness in my family. Clear vision 2022. The Martin family, absolutely. More open doors. Prayer for full forgiveness, healing, encouragement, inner peace, better health moving forward. Good. These are great prayer requests. They're rolling in. This is the last prayer request Sunday of 2021. Every single Sunday of this year, I've been praying for you. Every single week of this year, I've been praying for you. And we're not going to end the year no different. We're going to be praying for you this week and certainly believing that God answers your prayers. Good. They're still rolling in. These are really good prayer requests today. Again, I love the last Sunday of every year. Not only is it significant that we've survived another year, but it's also a great opportunity to lift up prayers to God to set our pace for the next year. And many of you, I'm telling you, you had a phenomenal year this year and you weren't even really fully transparent with yourself about where you are and what you need to work on and what you need to do better. You weren't even really transparent the way you should be. I'm telling you, this next level of honesty is going to take your life to the next level. It's going to take your business to the next level. It's going to take your relationships to the next level. It's going to take your career to the next level. It's going to take the way people receive you to the next level. Good. They're rolling in. Very good. Very good. Come on, y'all. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. This is good. These are awesome prayer. I wish I could read them all. They're coming in a little fast now, but this is great. I am praying for you. I always go back and watch the replay. And so if I don't happen to see it as you type, I always go back and watch it for this reason. I normally watch it on Sunday night. And I'm going to be praying for you. I'm praying for your clarity. I love that. Healthy exercise, healthy relationships, healthy lifestyles. I'm praying for these things. Listen, God said, Jesus said, my desire is for you to be, for you to prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. He doesn't want you sick. He does not want you feeling bad physically, emotionally, financially, any other league. He doesn't want you feeling bad. He wants you to do well. That's his ultimate desire for you. But he also wants your soul to prosper. And so I'm telling you, we get the order right. We learn how to confess to God and get our soul straight and our spirit straight, our energy straight. We seek him first. The Bible tells us this, then everything else starts to add to us. And I truly believe that's going to happen for all of you this year. Listen, y'all, connect your hands like this as a sign of symbol of faith. Let's pray, touch, and agree really quickly. Again, so sorry to run over, but what a powerful word today. Connect your hands like this as a sign, symbol of faith. This is the last prayer of 2021 on our broadcast right now. Connect your hands just like this, like we are holding hands. I want you to connect your hands like this as a sign, as a symbol of faith. Let's touch and agree and pray now. Let's do it. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you today for your word. Thank you for this time of gathering and sharing you've given us. I pray that somebody said something that has encouraged someone, that something was said that has empowered someone to be the best version of them. Help us, God, to get the order right. Help us to be honest and transparent before you regarding our shortcomings. Help us to be honest and transparent with ourselves regarding where we are and where we are not. Then, God, give us the boldness and humility to be honest with our neighbors, our friends, our families, our mates, folks that are connected to us in any capacity, so that, God, our lives can be full circle transparent. Our lives can be full circle honest, and we can truly walk into the vision, the purpose, the manifested desires that we have for our lives. I pray now, God, that you would gird your people with a spirit of humility like never before. Do not create bad circumstances to create the humility, but allow us to be proactive and go after humility so that we can create better circumstances for our lives. Now, God, for every prayer request that's been typed on this live, that's been added on the replay, that's been sent to our inbox, we lift these prayer requests up to you now. We ask now that you would touch the lives of your people as only you can, that you would make ways, open doors, meet needs in their lives, that you would answer prayers as only you can. I thank you, God, because this week, this final week of 2021, will be a week of miracles, will be a week of open doors, will be a week of manifested promises, manifested expectations, that God, literally everything you promised us January the 1st, if it has to happen on December 31st, we know it's going to happen. So I pray now, God, that you would open up the windows of heaven this week, that you would pour out blessings on your people like only you can, that you would make ways for your people as only you can. And God, will continue to give your name glory, honor, and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Do me a favor. I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. Quickly. If you prayed that prayer of faith, if you said the word amen, I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. Do it quickly. It is so. It is so. Come on, do it quickly. I want you to type it in the comments right now. It is so. If you prayed that prayer of faith, I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. Listen, concerning your finances getting better, it's so. Concerning your business growing better in 2022, it is so. Concerning God answering the prayers that he promised you on January the 1st that he was going to answer this year, it is so. Concerning God making you feel better physically, emotionally, financially, in your relationships, it is so. I'm believing God for you. He's going to heal your body. He's going to make ways for you. He's going to open doors for you. He's going to meet needs as only he can. And I want you to walk in that today. Listen, y'all, if anybody wants to be saved, if anybody wants to dedicate their life to Christ this last Sunday of 2021, yeah, I know you got some gifts yesterday. They hooked you up with Coach Fendi and Gucci yesterday. But listen, the best gift you can get is a Romans 10:9 gift, that if you confess with your mouth and believe with your heart that Jesus Christ is who he is, done what he did for us, that you are saved. Salvation is the best gift that you can receive today. And I want you to know that if you want to be saved, there is literally no better time. I like that, Swan. There's no better time than right now to be saved. Listen, if you want to be saved, I want you to stop what you're doing. Maybe you having brunch with the family. You got your AirPods in. I want you to get up and walk out the room and get a secluded place, because you're getting ready to repeat a prayer of faith with me. And God wants to save your life right where you are. I don't care where you are or what you're going through or what you're dealing with. You are not too low that God can't reach down and pull you up out of it. He wants to save you today on this last Sunday of 2021. Your gift to yourself and to the world is going to be salvation. If you want to be saved, I want you to repeat this prayer of faith. Say this with me. Whether you're watching live or watching the replay, I want you to say this with me. Say it. I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect. I've made some mistakes. I have flaws and failures. But I do believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He lived on this earth just like I'm living. He suffered, bled, and died on the cross. But 3 days later, he rose again for my sins. Because he lives, I can live, and I am saved. My friends, if you prayed that prayer of faith, I want to welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ. There's no better family in the world that you could have been a part of than the one you just joined. Congratulations to you. Look at what you got for Christmas. You got the gift of eternal life. It's a powerful gift, and it's a gift that you will have for the rest of your life. Watch, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. And I'm excited that you made that decision. Now, go find you a church home somewhere. I don't care where you are. I don't care where you live. Go find you a church home somewhere that you can be a part of that ministry, whether it's in person, whether it's virtual, or whether it's hybrid like we will be. Find your ministry. Go be a part of that ministry. Dedicate your life to that ministry. Dedicate your time, your talent, your treasure to that ministry, and watch God continue to grow you in the faith. He wants to surround you with other believers that can encourage you, that can continue to keep you spiritually motivated. All right. Maybe you've tuned in today, and on this last Sunday, you want to be a part of the Rehab Christian Center. Yes, we're going to be going hybrid next year. We'll have some information on the dates and all of those things in the weeks to come. But we're going to be going hybrid, but we're still not forsaking our online community. We'll be in the building 2 Sundays. We're going to be online 2 Sundays. You'll have access to all of our services. And I'm grateful for this very innovative approach that we're taking. This is where trailblazers belong, and I'm happy to be here. But maybe you want to be a part of the Rehab Christian Center. I would love to be your pastor in this season of your life. I would love to be your spiritual leader in this season of your life as you continue to grow down the path and the direction that God has for you. If you want to be a part of this ministry, just simply type in the comments, #membership, #membership, and the word membership, and somebody will reach out to you, get some information from you. And we would love to welcome you to the nicest church on the planet, the Rehab Christian Center. Yes, we're not the biggest church. We're not the largest church. We're not the loudest church. We're definitely not the most traditional church, but by far the nicest church on the planet. And I would love to be your pastor in the season of your life. All right. And so just simply type that there. A moderator will get your information. If you're watching the replay, you can email us at info@REHABCC and just type in the subject line membership. And explain to us that you want to be a part, and we'll connect you with our moderators who are faithful to get information from you. Listen, I want to challenge you today on the last Sunday of 2021 to give. I want to challenge you quickly to give. We're going to be opening the building up soon. We are a little ways off from where we need to be in order to effectively do ministry. Remember, we're going to now be streaming our live services. And so we're going to need to give a little more before we are able to be able to do those things and do them in an effective way. One thing about me, I definitely come to the conclusion of over this pandemic is that nothing annoys me more than just doing things halfway. I don't like to do halfway nothing. And before I do something halfway, I won't do it at all. And that's just the way I am. And that's the way I think I'm going to always be. I want to challenge you to give today. On this last Sunday of the year, I got paid this week, and I gave my tithes before I bought a single thing in my paycheck or using my debit card. I paid my tithes, gave my offering. I believe in the importance of tithing and giving. And I'm going to challenge you to give today. If this ministry has been a blessing to you, you can give one of 3 ways. You can give your tithes, pay your tithes. You can give your offering seed one of 3 ways. You can give via CashAPP at $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and simply choose online giving. That's www.rehabcc.org and choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS. Text REHABWORKS, 2 words as 1 word, to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202, and right to your cell phone, you'll get a prompt. Click on it, you follow the prompt, and you can give right from your phone. Again, you can give via CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE, website www.rehabcc.org. Simply choose online giving, or you can text REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202, and right to your cell phone, you'll see a prompt. Follow the prompt, and you can give right from your cell phone, and God will be a blessing to you. We are about $4,500 away from a goal that we need in order to effectively open up and do what we want to do in terms of equipment and systems, things that we have to put in place. And so I want to challenge you all to give today. If this message, if this ministry has been a blessing to you, and I promise you, God will bless you in a tremendous way. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He'll bless somebody. He'll send somebody to be a blessing to you because of the way you've given to us. And so I'm grateful for you. I'm excited for you. And again, I want to challenge you to give. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas Sunday. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends today. Make sure you eat all you want to eat. Enjoy yourself all you want to enjoy yourself today. Remember, we won't see you Tuesday. We'll see you at 12:08 on December the 31st for our New Year's Eve virtual experience. It will be virtual here. 12:08. We'll see you then. And I'm praying for you this week. I'm praying that you have a phenomenal week, that things really work out well for you and your family, and concerning everything concerning you. And certainly continue to pray for us. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. Have a fantastic week. And we will see you later on in the week. All right. I love you. I'm praying for you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by CashAPP at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encouraged, enlightened, and empowered you to be better. Please tune in Tuesday at 7:08 p.m. for our life study experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.